welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. And by the way, a reminder to our loyal listeners, we are moving August 12th. August 12th, we are going 9 a.m. to noon. We're very excited about that. And I get people asking me the last several days, well, who's going to be replacing you? Who's coming in 6 to 8 p.m.? So I'll give you that answer in a second. So I'm in the building the other day, and management here, they said, I want you to meet this guy, Steve Sanchez. He's going to be replacing your 2 hours. So I did a little research. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. Literally, the first 20 seconds I meet this guy, we're getting into an all-out verbal debate brawl when it comes to Donald Trump. We literally sat there in front of the general manager here, the program director, for 30 minutes. And everyone was just listening and staring at us, and we were just debating. And eventually somebody said, hey, you know what? You guys should probably get on the air together. I said, you know what? That might not be a bad idea, right? JD, you were there. You were there, right? You're a witness.
I was there for about 45 minutes of the we'll call it political carnage back and forth, and it was definitely a sight.
It was entertaining. And Steve Sanchez, of course, from the Steve Sanchez Show, nationally syndicated host, joins us right now in studio. He's a part of KDWN, and I'm happy that you're here, my man. Thanks for coming in.
Gentlemen,
up,
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Sure. Well, we got a lot to get to.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the news of the last several days, okay? And you know what Trump said on Twitter about, go back to your country. We don't need to replay that audio. But let's talk about the chant, which I think is important. And the reason why I bring that up is because the people that said that chant about Omar are disgusting. To me, this has nothing to do with Omar. We can debate that in a couple minutes. I'm not an Omar fan either. Okay, I know you're not. But that chant was disgusting. Can we start there? Can we agree with that?
Well, I didn't like the chant. I mean, who would? I mean, common sense prevails regarding send her back. I think it just takes a step out of the norm in terms of who we are as Americans. But there is a part of this that no one really wants to talk about. Is there built up frustration from people that are just so angry about what's happening, the slap of the face of America, of white America. I have to say that because white America today has become the racists of this country. White America, if you're white and you have a job, you've got white privilege. And I'm a Hispanic saying that, so I don't agree with it.
Well, let me respond to that.
But yeah. I think that there was some built-up frustration. I'm not making an excuse for it, but I think we have to be intellectually honest and know that it's coming from somewhere. What's that somewhere? Well, let's ask Obama and maybe the Black Lives Matter.
Well, let's start with your white America comment. I'm white. I'm an American. I'm not a racist, number one. Number two, you just said anger. I think there are other ways to show anger rather than be a racist and chant a racist, a rant.
I agree with you, but you know what? Same goes for Black Lives Matter when they were burning cop cars in Ferguson.
Okay, but this is whataboutism.
There's no whataboutism. This is reality.
That's what you're doing.
They were throwing brick wall.
But we're not talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm not bringing that up. Why is it when Republicans, when somebody brings up something that Donald Trump... Okay, fine. But why is it when somebody brings up something that maybe makes a Donald Trump look bad or maybe makes his supporters look bad? I get this all the time. You're not the only one. Well, what about Black Lives Matter? What about this Democrat?
Well, because you guys did it.
Don't say you guys.
You guys did it all through the Obama administration.
You can't say you guys because I wasn't an Obama supporter.
It's because one of these parties.
You can't generalize.
One of these parties or the media is acting like this has never happened before.
Yeah, and it has happened.
It has happened.
Because nobody wants to talk about bricks going through businesses, people getting beat over the head, bottles cracked over their head, people getting pulled out of their cars.
So let me ask you a question about
that. From Black
then.
Lives Matter. And you know what? Where was Obama disavowing that?
Well, last I checked, Obama never told anybody to go back to their country.
Maybe not, but Obama did a lot of things.
No, not maybe not. He didn't.
Maybe not, but he did a lot of things. Basically, he didn't defend the police that were killed in Texas.
I've said on the air.
He didn't even want to light the White House with blue lights.
Okay,
but
Steve,
he lighted the White House with LGBT lights. Okay. What the hell's that?
Okay. Well, why do you have a problem with that?
Because I have a problem. If you're gonna basically
supporting the gay community, what's wrong with that?
If you're gonna basically take one group and you're gonna enhance a group, enhance the police that literally, no matter where you stand, what you are politically, no matter what your ideology is, they're gonna answer a call to come and save you in the event of harm and danger. But Obama didn't do one damn thing about that.
Homosexuals have been.
Brian, you got to do better than that. Come on, you're talking to a guy that has 100.
Because I'm supporting homosexuality?
You're talking to a guy that has 138 IQ, buddy. You know what?
Okay.
You could try to paint me out to be a homophobe, but the truth of the matter is that isn't the truth. So let's get back to the structure of the topics. You want to go down to the LGBT. What you're trying to say is you're trying to say, Steve, is there a problem with the LGBT being lit in the White House? No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying, why didn't he do that for the cops that were killed in Dallas?
You brought up.
Answer my question, please. Why weren't the cops
First of all, I'm doing the show.
Why weren't the cops honored in Texas?
Okay, Steve.
You don't
First
have
of
an
all-
answer. I'll
first
tell
of
you
all-
why.
No,
Because Obama
Steve.
loved that.
I'm going to pot him down in a second, Steve.
Pot me down.
Steve.
It'll never
Steve,
stop me. I'm
Steve,
going
Steve.
live on Facebook. They'll
Steve,
still get
okay,
me.
that's fine. This is my show, not yours. Okay, this is our show. Okay,
Wonderful.
I asked the questions.
And
if you
I
want to ask
answered
me a
you.
question, that's fine.
I've
okay?
asked you. Answer.
Okay. Well, now I'm commenting on all the
Please
the
answer.
garbage that you answered.
Just answer one
Okay,
question.
Calm down.
One question.
What drugs are you on today? Calm
One-
down for a second.
I'll tell
okay?
you what. The
Calm down.
drugs I'm on is it's called success,
Okay.
and it's called intelligence.
Okay. Well, you brought up. That's fine. You could think you're Albert Einstein. I disagree.
I'm not Albert
okay?
Einstein,
Fine.
but I'm a smart guy.
I'm a pretty smart guy
It's a
too.
new
okay?
hybrid drug. It's
Okay.
called successogens.
You won't answer the question.
Okay, it's
and we're
easy.
going to run out of
It's
time.
very simple.
And then the audience is going to say,
You haven't let me
They're going
talk.
to say Brian just doesn't answer questions.
You haven't let me talk.
Go ahead, answer.
Okay, it's easy to win a debate. First
Answer.
of all, don't tell me what to do.
Just
I'm
answer
gonna-
the question.
Okay, just be quiet for a second, or I'm going to pot you down.
I'm going to be quiet
Let's
for
do this
20
in a-
seconds. If you don't
No,
answer,
no,
I'm
no,
going to come back on.
Okay, we're
Okay,
going
go
to do.
ahead.
Okay, we're going to do this in a respectful way.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, please be quiet and
I'm
listen.
quiet.
This is
Go
very
ahead.
important. Don't tell me what to do on the show.
Go ahead.
We're going to be respectful to one another.
Well, you're not
And if you-
respectful to me.
And if excuse me,
You're not.
how have I not been
Because
respectful
you
to you?
basically said something
I'm
about the
having a
LGBT.
debate with you.
You're trying to basically paint me out to be a homophobe, and
Did
that's
I
not
say
fair.
you're a homophobe?
Then why ask that stupid question?
You said that you had a problem with Obama
No, you said
lighting
you
up
have
the,
a problem
the
with
White
the
House.
LGBT. You said that. Pull the tape. You
I
said,
asked
"Do you
you.
have a problem?"
I asked
and
you
I
a
said no.
question.
But why would we even ask that?
It's a very because you brought up the LGBT
because
you
I
brought up the
said that
community.
he lit the White House and he wouldn't do the same
you
for
have a problem
the
with that.
cops. I don't have a problem with that. I said, why wouldn't he do that for the cops?
So you
Answer
ha-
the question.
so-
Why wouldn't he?
So you're telling me that Barack Obama doesn't support law enforcement? Is that what you're saying?
It sure as hell didn't look like it.
Okay. In your opinion, it didn't look like it.
In a lot
Okay.
of people's opinion, that's why you
Okay.
have a Trump presidency
Okay. Well, you brought up so many issues there.
and not a Hillary Clinton
And,
presidency.
Okay. Well, look, if you want to bring up Obama and Hillary, we can have that debate.
Well, you brought up John McCain
But
in the last
There's
segment.
a reason why I brought up John McCain, and it's very simple.
Okay.
And it's not because I have 135 IQ. Okay. The reason you could have a 20 IQ and understand what I'm saying right now. John McCain took that microphone, and in an instant where a woman was racist,
Yes.
immediately he grabbed that microphone.
Okay.
And he said, "No, ma'am. Barack Obama is a decent man. We just disagree on policy."
Okay.
Donald Trump stood on that stage. Okay, and when that horrible rant was taking place,
Yes.
horrible,
Yeah.
racist, whatever you want to call it,
I said it was.
which you took about 5 seconds to say it was, and then you went on a right wing rant.
No,
Okay,
not right-wing,
yes, you did.
just
It was,
right.
Yes, it was. It was a right wing rant.
It was like a turbo filibuster.
Yeah. Okay, he stood there like an idiot for 13 seconds. Okay, like a moron.
Okay.
and then a day later he says, well, he disavows it.
Okay.
why don't you step up to the plate and discuss that Donald Trump doesn't have the proper leadership qualities to be the president of the United States, and he proved that in North Carolina.
You want me to answer it?
I would like you to, yeah.
I think the reason he probably didn't disavow it that night and he did the next day is the same reason Obama didn't disavow Jeremiah Wright.
You just can't. You just can't answer the question without bringing up Barack Obama.
Because it's the truth.
Steve, can you answer a question without bringing up
answered
a
it.
Democrat? It's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It's fact. You guys, if you want to basically talk about Trump, you have to talk about why he got here. If
You just can't
literally-
answer a question intellectually honest
you
without
don't
bringing up
like-
a Democrat.
You don't like the answer.
We can talk about Obama. I didn't support Barack Obama. This question is
I don't
about
care.
Donald Trump. Answer the question.
I
You
don't
want to
care.
tell me to answer a question? Answer the question.
I don't care if you supported Obama or not. Here's the reality.
Stop bringing up prior presidents and Democrats. I'm asking you a specific
then
question
stop
about
bringing
Donald
up
Trump.
John McCain.
I brought up John McCain for a reason, to show
And
an
I brought up
example.
Obama for a reason to show
so
an
let's
example.
forget about John McCain. Let's just totally focus on Donald Trump.
But it's too late. You already put it out there. Your audience is hearing
well,
it.
you put up. You just talked about Barack Obama, so we're even.
course, he was the
okay?
president.
Okay, so we're even.
Okay.
Okay,
He was
I
the
won't bring
president.
up anybody in the past. Okay,
Perfect.
as long as you don't, I won't.
I can't promise
He
that.
stood up there. Of course you won't. 13 seconds. He stood
Yes.
up there on that stage.
You sound like broken record.
Stood
I
there.
heard you.
Okay, so answer the question. Stop bringing up a Democrat.
And I told you he did disavow it. He didn't that night. It's the same reason Obama wouldn't disavow many things that you would hear ranting.
It took him 10 seconds
It's
to
real
bring
simple.
up Barack Obama.
I'm just telling you the
All right,
truth. And you
all
know
right.
what? I can
I'm
guarantee
not
you
gonna get
your
anywhere with you.
overwhelming percentage of your audience agrees with me.
Well, I don't care what my audience thinks.
Oh, be careful.
I care about what I think,
Well,
and then I'll
then
listen.
you're not going to have a show.
I'll
if that's
listen
what
to
you care about.
Okay, well, that's a ridiculous comment.
Well,
okay?
you said you didn't care about what your audience
Okay,
thinks.
listen. Let me finish the statement.
Well, you
okay?
finished it. Now you're retracting.
Okay.
Just now you're not just.
My
it's like
opinion,
you're like Trump.
My
now you're
opinion,
changing it.
I'm like Trump.
Yeah, now you're
Really?
changing it.
I'm like Trump.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're saying, wait a minute. I thought
Well,
I
no.
spoke. Steve actually got me a gotcha. I better be careful.
You interrupt a lot, and
Go
you
ahead.
don't let me speak, even though it's my show. I find that extremely disrespectful. If I went on your show, hold on.
I
See, you're
told
doing it
you
again.
were going into the
You're
Lions
doing
den
it
if
again.
you had me
No,
on.
Listen, you do your show any way you want to do your show. I would never tell you how to do it, but let me tell you something, my
Yes.
friend. This is my show.
You said that four times. Everybody knows.
Because you're disrespectful. You're not letting me talk.
We're having a debate.
No, this is not a debate. You're just
You
screaming.
just don't like the answers.
You're just talking over me.
How do you want me to answer, Brian? Well, you know what? Trump, Brian, is just a disgrace.
I'll tell you
and he shouldn't have said that, Brian. You're right.
That's not how I want you to answer.
What do you want me to say?
I don't think he should be impeached for making a statement like that.
What do you want me to say?
When did I say that?
You tell me what I should say, since you know.
First of all,
yes.
I think instead of bringing up whataboutism and bringing up Barack Obama.
But you bring up whataboutism.
I'll criticize. If you ask me a question about a Democrat, I won't bring up a Republican. I'll answer it honestly, unlike you.
Okay, well, you should.
Well, you should also. You should also. All right.
Have you heard my show?
I don't think you are. With all due respect.
Have you heard my show? Come on.
All right. Well, let's move on to Twitter because we're certainly not going to get anywhere with this subject. In regards to Twitter, you've made some interesting comments that I would like to talk about. You have said that libs are easily triggered.
Oh, they are.
Okay. You said that.
You just witnessed yours. You just got triggered like 2 minutes ago.
One thing, Steve, that I've known you for a very short period of time.
Yes.
But in the time I have known you, I'm sure you're a very nice guy. I haven't hung out with you outside of the political spectrum here. We've only had a couple conversations.
You like me, Brian.
But what you do...
I like you. You know you like me. You can't help it.
I appreciate that.
We just don't agree politically, but you're a good guy.
I appreciate that.
You're just wrong.
But what you do is you like to generalize and you like to label me as a liberal. You've also, off the air, have called me an atheist. So I don't like people. I don't like this a trait in people that like to generalize other people because they disagree.
Yeah.
Now you said
you just generalized a bunch of people calling him racist at a Trump rally. Not all of them said send her back.
I didn't say all of them. Where did I say that?
I heard you. You said the people.
All of the people. I said all the people at the rally are racist.
Have Johnny pull the tape.
I didn't say that.
Have him pull the tape.
I've never
Johnny,
said
pull the
that.
tape later and send us the archive.
The people that
and I'll
were
put
doing,
it on my
you
Facebook
know
stream.
exactly what I said. The people that were doing the chant were racist. That's exactly how I feel. And if you want to defend them, that's fine.
I don't want to defend them.
I'll send you a David Duke uniform through the mail if that's what you want.
Hey,
but if you want to defend them, that's fine.
You could put David Duke out there as long as you talk about Robert KKK Bird too.
Sure.
Who, by the way, Obama loved, and so did Hillary.
I don't agree with that. But that's the problem. You keep up bringing up things that you think I'm going to agree with, and I don't. I agree with you
I'm glad.
what you're attacking.
I'm trying to help you, Brian.
Whataboutism.
I'm trying the
Trust me,
audience.
I don't need your help.
I'm trying to have the
My
audience
IQ's
like
higher than you
more.
My IQ's higher than you. I don't need your help. Okay?
No problem.
My SATs were higher than yours. If you want to go down that route.
Okay, good. Good.
All right, so here's what you said. You said they have zero.
But I know my checkbook's bigger.
Okay, let me know when you're ready for me to. If your intellect is available for me to ask you another question. Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
They have zero intellect to debate, so they revert to name calling in regards to liberals. Now, here's my question to you.
You did your homework.
You're attacking liberals for calling names. In the last 2 weeks on social media, and by the way, you were suspended on social media, right?
For 12 days.
Exactly.
You know why?
And why? What did you do?
Oh,
What'd you do?
I'll tell you what I did if you want me to answer.
Sure.
I didn't like the fact that a man kicked a dog across the street, and I basically said, bring out the electric chair. They suspended me for 12 days and let the video go on continuously.
Okay. Well, in the last couple
like
weeks,
that, did you?
In the last couple weeks,
I like dogs.
In the last couple weeks, you've called people fools, delusional, liars. You attacked a woman on her looks.
You mean
in
Bette
regards
Midler?
to Rapinoe?
Rapinoe?
Yeah.
Oh, Megan Rapinoe?
Yeah, Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, yeah, I mean Easter
You
egg
attacked her looks. Why would you do that? Why would you attack a woman's looks because you disagree with her politics?
I don't like Megan Rapinoe because I don't like the way she was dragging the flag.
And that's okay.
She's like a fool.
I don't have a problem with that.
And that's why I called her Easter egg head.
I don't have a problem with what you said until you go after a woman's looks.
She might be a nice person.
Okay, fine.
But she deserves what she got.
But you're attacking liberals and you claim that all they do is revert to name calling. You're doing the exact same thing.
Oh, you know what? Let me tell you something. I said they are easily triggered, but I'll tell you the reason I'm actually attacking Megan Rapinoe is because someone needs to have the guts to actually stand back up to her because everybody's afraid.
Well, first of all, you're 100% wrong. First of all, you're
politically correct agendas.
Excuse me. I did an entire hour attacking her for some of the ignorant things that she said.
Well,
but you know,
good.
excuse me.
That's good.
Excuse me. One thing I didn't do was attack her looks.
Well, that's okay.
No, it's not okay.
People attack my looks. They say that I
would
look
never
like.
do that.
They say I look like Smash Head.
And you know what? They're idiots for doing that.
They say that I pencil in my eyebrows.
And that's idiotic.
I don't care.
And I would never do that to you. Okay,
Brian, I know you would. But you're a pro.
But you're going after liberals for doing the same thing that you're doing. Why can't you admit that?
Oh, I am, and I'll tell you why. And I have no apology.
You're a hypocrite.
No, I'm
telling
you. You want me to tell you what I am?
We have it. Roll back the tape, Johnny. Roll back the tape. We got a hypocrite in studio.
Want me to tell you what I am?
Hypocrite alert.
I'm going to tell you. I'm a man that actually has guts. That finally, you know what, is going to say something.
A woman's looks is guts.
The
that
woman
is a
thing.
disgrace.
Come on, stop with the woman thing.
Stop with the women thing.
Yeah, I'm going to call Kamala Harris on you. I thought women and men are equal. Don't just because she's a woman.
You're going to defend going after looks of anybody, but it just so happens that
she has purple hair like Easter egg.
Why would you do that? That's academic to the discussion.
Because she has purple hair.
Okay, well that's ignorant.
Oh, that's all right.
That's ignorant.
I got about 1,000 retweets on it.
That's okay. Paris Hilton has 1 million retweets. When if Kim Kardashian puts out a sex tweet, she's probably got 5 million. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You're right?
That means a lot of people
What does that
retweeted.
mean? If Donald Trump tomorrow put out a tweet that says send all African Americans back to Africa, he'd probably get a lot of retweets on that too.
I
so
hope
don't
not.
give me that garbage.
I hope not.
Don't give me that. Your point makes 0 cents,
I
my
hope
friend.
that he doesn't.
If you're just
I hope that somebody doesn't do that.
Zero. You're making 0 cents. Your
I
IQ
don't
of
know.
125 sounds like it's
No,
going down.
It's actually
Yeah,
138.
It sounds like it's going down to about 80. Kamala Harris. This is what you said. This is
Yes.
what she said, and then I want to comment. I want
I've
you to
got
comment on this.
75,000 Twitter followers.
Okay.
People know.
Okay, Twitter again. You keep bringing up
Okay.
things that make no sense to this conversation. I don't care how many Twitter followers.
All right,
You
all
could
right.
have one Twitter follower or a gazillion. Kim Kardashian has about 100 times more, probably 1,000 times more followers than you.
And she's
So
got 100
stop it.
times more money.
Stop it with the Twitter stuff. That
Okay.
makes no sense.
All
okay?
right, sir.
Right now, countless immigrant. This is what Kamala Harris said.
Yes.
Right now, countless immigrant families are living in fear of immigration raids. Mothers and fathers are wondering if they are spending their last moments with their children before being separated. Children are too afraid to play outside. Now, listen.
Yeah.
She's gone in there and she's spoken to a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And actually, I've spoken to some of these people as well here in Las Vegas. Now, this is your response.
Okay.
Stop lying. Can't you campaign in an honest capacity?
Yeah.
Trust me, you'll be exposed. So I have a two-part question for you. Number one, can you prove that she's lying? Because by all intents and purposes, she's not. And number two, did you say the same thing about Donald Trump when he was campaigning? Did you call him a liar? Stop campaigning on a lie.
Let me answer question number one. You can't prove it either. And number two.
Yes, I can. I just told you. I've spoken to families here in Las
And
Vegas.
that proves it? 'Cause you spoke to families?
There are
I
people
speak to
out there.
families all the time. I'm a Hispanic. What does that mean?
It means she's not saying everybody is in fear, but I've spoken to some families that are in fear.
Ridiculous.
What do you mean ridiculous?
they've been
Am I a
here-
liar?
They've been
You call
here,
me a liar?
They've been here 20, 30 years. They're basically filing tax returns with fake Social Security numbers, a lot of them. Come on, give me a break in fear.
Okay.
Everybody's in fear all
I
of a
guess I'm a
sudden
liar.
when Trump's president, everybody's in fear. But when Obama had kids in cages, no one was in fear. Who, by the way, Clinton actually established that policy, but nobody wants to talk
I
about
want to do
that.
an over-under on how many times Steve is going to bring up Barack Obama in a conversation. JD, you're the sports handicapper here. I'd say 85.5 times he's going to bring up Barack Obama.
People need to know the truth.
I would say probably 51. We're at about 14 right now.
Here's the truth.
We've been on air for approximately
You've
15
got a guy
minutes.
that's been in office 3 years. You know what the trouble is, Brian? You just don't like that he won. Get over it.
Okay, well,
Go take your
again-
frustrations out on the
again,
voting booth.
See, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, Steve, with all
Yes.
due respect.
Yes, yes.
You assume that I voted for Hillary Clinton, that I did not want Donald Trump to win. Guess what,
well,
my
I know
friend?
you didn't vote for Trump.
Okay, well, guess what, my friend? I got a news flash for you,
Yes.
and you're wrong again. I did not vote for Hillary Clinton either. Okay,
Did you
I
vote for Trump?
I did not vote for either. I was not angry when Donald Trump won the election. So you are 150% wrong.
Okay.
You make a lot of assumptions. You know what they say about people that assume things, right? I don't need to repeat that, right? Okay. All right.
No.
Yeah, I think.
Repeat
it. Make an ass out of you and me. Okay. Don't make an ass of yourself and don't assume things about me. You've already assumed I'm a liberal. I voted for Mitt Romney.
Everybody knows
you've
you're a
ass-
liberal.
Okay.
Your callers even know.
That's fine.
Unless the ones that don't disagree
That's
with
fine. You know,
disagree
Donald Trump.
with you.
You know, Donald Trump assumes things about people all the time. So you guys have something
and so
in common.
do you. You
Yeah.
assumed that many people in that rally were racist.
I assume the people that were chanting, go
How
home.
many were?
I don't.
500?
I have no idea.
1,000?
It doesn't matter.
5,000?
It doesn't matter whether it was 5 people or 5,000 people. Number one, it was loud enough for people to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Number
that's
two,
what microphones do
number
when
two,
you're in an arena.
Number two, Donald Trump absolutely heard the chants. He admitted that
Correct.
he did, and he did nothing about it. He paused for 13 seconds. So don't you give me this crap about, it was only a few people.
Let me help you here because I know you're not going to like it, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Trust me, I don't need help.
Why
But go
didn't
ahead.
Barack Obama say anything about Jeremiah Wright?
Oh, wow, he brought up Barack Obama again.
And why isn't anybody saying anything about Al Sharpton when he
guy's-
said Greek homos
this
and
guy's
white
like-
crackers?
this guy's like that guy
Did
from
you actually
InfoWars,
do
man.
a segment about Al Sharpton saying white
JD, who's
crackers
that guy
and
from
Greek
InfoWars?
homos?
What's his name?
I believe his name is
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
You won't.
Are you related to Alex Jones?
You won't answer. You won't answer the
Because
question.
I told you, you keep bringing up Barack Obama. We talk, okay, you do your show any way you want to. If you want to bash Barack Obama, we got to take a break. We got 30 seconds. We got to take a break.
Okay.
I want to, I'm going to show you respect, okay? And I'm going to take a break, and I'm not going to ask you a question and then say something, right? And then take a break.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm not going to do that. So we will continue this conversation on the other side. And you know what? Why don't we take a couple calls too? I always enjoy our listeners, what they have to say. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. Steve Sanchez knifed us to stick around for another segment, and we will be back right after this. All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, a reminder, Herman Cain will be joining us tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun. I asked him, where's the best place to get a piece of pizza in Las Vegas? He's an expert when it comes to that, right? Herman Cain joining us, former presidential, I guess, Would you call him a contender? I guess he was a contender. For a little while, he was leading, and then those sexual assault things, alleged sexual assault, came out and kind of hurt his chances. But so Herman will be joining us tomorrow, and we are moving August 12th, 9 a.m. to noon, and the man that is in studio with us right now, Steve Sanchez, will be taking our place from 6 to 8 p.m. My co-host, J.D. Sharp, I'm going to call him, I guess you could say, a referee of this debate. All right, J.D., if we went 12 rounds, what's your scorecard in that segment?
As of right now,
don't be biased. I do not want you to be biased.
Know, Steve spoke for about, I would say, 140 seconds straight. he actually probably has a career in rapping, if you would like. He speaks almost as fast as Twista, who's the world record holder.
He does speak fast.
I have to. Brian's debating me.
It was almost very hard to follow. I would say it's probably 7-5, just because I'm more biased towards Steve's side, considering my political affiliation. But you did a pretty decent job of not jumping over the table and strangling him.
When he said he had 135 IQ, is that what did it for you? Did he win a round for that one?
All I could think about was Trump's 151.
Okay,
guys, please, it's 138, man. Get it right, not 135.
And Donald Trump's what, 440? Oh, no, that's his weight. I'm sorry. All right, 257-5396. Well, the phone lines are jammed. We got Steve in studio, Steve Sanchez joining us, and we'll take your calls now. Let's have some fun here. Let's start off with Brady. Brady, what's going on?
What's up, Brady?
Yeah, how you doing? Right on. I want to bring up Omar the Horrible, and you keep failing to realize that a lot of this stuff that's coming out is her whole family that has come here with the naturalization forms and everything is based on illegality. And
Brady, can I be clear? Can I be clear, Brady? I've said this on the show before. I know you're a loyal listener. I'm not an Omar fan. I don't think she should be in Congress. I think she is an anti-Semite. But with that being said, you cannot support the chant that was in North Carolina yesterday, can you?
Yeah, I would just say it would extend it a little bit. Send her back or lock her up. They can pick one of the
Okay,
other.
Brady. All right, Brady. Have a nice day. You're a racist.
You know, I prefer kick her out of Congress. Yep. But I think it's disgusting that she actually pretended to marry her brother to get here. That is gross, and she has no business being in Congress.
I'll send Brady his Klan outfit through the mail. Thank you, Brady. 257-5396. Let's go to Jim. Jim, what's going on?
Two comments before you attack me. One, I think women, if they're going to use the woman card for protection when they get criticized, they shouldn't run for office. And two, do you think Omar is doing a disservice to the refugees by coming in here? She gets elected, and then all she does is bag on our country. She's not very patriotic at all.
Okay, so Jim, I will answer your question. Jim, Jim, I'm going to answer your question honestly, but if I do, will you answer mine in return? Is that a deal?
Yes, I will. I voted for Trump.
Okay, understand. Jim, to an extent.
I know you think I'm a moron.
No, Jim, are you going to give me a chance to treat you with respect?
I want a politician in there.
Okay, I'm trying to treat you with respect. I'm going to answer your question, then you'll answer mine. Okay. To an extent, I agree with you. Yes, I do think she's doing a disservice with the anti-Semitic remarks that she's made. So, yes, I agree with you. As I've said before, I'll say it again. I'm not a fan. With that being said, do you think Donald Trump is making America look bad? Do you think Donald Trump is making white people look bad, for example, when he says, go back to your country?
I think he should, maybe he should have did his homework on where these people were born. But the way they act, I think he was was under the assumption that they came from these.
So your answer is if they're not from this country, you're okay with it? No, because I don't like the first 5 words of your answer. With all due respect, if they're not born,
you got to let us talk.
All right, goodbye, Jim. Well, guess what, Jim? It's not your show. Okay, we have many other people that want to call in, number one. And number two, you're making...
It's also not Brian's show. It's Steve's show today.
Yeah, it's Steve's show. You're right. You're right, JD. It's your show, too, though. We got to put your name in there, too.
JD's a humble guy.
He's very humble.
Well, of course, he's a
very smart guy.
He's a conservative.
I am a beacon of humility.
I think JD, for the record, JD has a higher IQ than both of us, but that's just my opinion.
Maybe not.
257
But he is a very humble guy.
He is. 257-5396. Michelle, what's going on? You're on with Steve Sanchez.
Hey, Michelle.
Good evening. I just want to let you know I just started listening to your show probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I really do enjoy it. You're a fair person, but I got a problem with Steve. Steve, no disrespect, but this is like going to someone's house. You go over to their house and you respect it. You're talking over him. You haven't even let him finish one sentence, and it's really irritating to hear you two go back and forth, and nothing's being done.
Michelle, that's great, but let me remind you, this is also my house. I've been at KDWN for the last 4 years, the #1 talk radio show on the weekends here, so do your homework.
Wait, but see, see how disrespectful you're being.
Well, I don't care. It's the truth.
Let me see. Now you're talking over me.
No, I just told you something you don't like, but you're one of those that basically do that to your husband. Don't do that to me.
I don't have a husband.
Well, no wonder.
See. Oh my God, you're so disrespectful.
Michelle. Michelle,
Yes.
let me say I appreciate those kind words.
If I had the dump button, I'd dump her.
Okay.
And thank you for your call, Michelle.
No,
Goodbye.
I'm not dumping her. Come on, Steve.
No, you can't dump me.
Steve.
I'm the kind of person that you want to call.
She disagrees. Hold on, Michelle. Michelle, hang on a second. Steve.
Hey, a guy just disagreed with you and you called him a racist.
Yeah, Michelle's not a racist. She hasn't said anything race-related.
I'm not going with Donald Trump.
No,
I just
she's saying
the referee to ask you guys if you're going to have a conversation.
I agree,
you have
Michelle.
people listening that want to hear it, but you can't get the.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for taking my side in this very logical.
She's totally right. The first 10 minutes of the first 30 minutes of the show were very, very difficult to understand unless you were in this room. Even for me, in this room, it was difficult.
I agree.
So I can imagine for a listener, it was very, very.
At the same time, I'm not going to be pushed over either. So 257-5396. Let's go to Mike. Mike, what's going on?
Good evening, Brian, JD, and hello, Reverend Steve, American Badass. Fantastic headbutting, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
You have a question, or is that
Steve?
Okay?
Hey, Steve, I got a quick sidebar here. I sent you 3 packages, not one little one. I sent you $1,000 superhero.
Okay, Mike. Mike, thank you very much. But we're on a 50,000 watt radio station. Nobody cares what you sent Steve through the mail. You whack job.
Steve might care.
257-5396. Jeez. Hey, let's talk about the mail that I sent my ex-girlfriend yesterday. Anyway, let's go to Pat. Pat, what's going on? Steve's got some weird fans.
Hey, Brian, thanks for taking my call.
Go ahead, Pat.
He's calling your show.
I'm enjoying the show, and it's really a good back and forth. But,
thank you, Pat. I appreciate that.
The only reason I listen is because the intro is always Larry, the cable guy, saying, if you don't listen to Brian Shapiro's show, please leave the country.
Well,
so, I want to stay here.
That's true.
And that's a very valid reason, Pat.
That is true, Pat. But the difference is I do believe that Larry the Cable Guy was joking. That was a joke. He's a professional comedian.
He was being very serious, and that's gospel.
I think maybe Trump was joking, too, when he told
well, he's
Omar
the president. He's the president of the United States. And how can you make the comparison between Larry the Cable Guy and the president of the United States, Donald Trump? Pat, with all due respect.
Well, I guess I just did, so
okay.
Deal with it.
Thank you, Pat. I'll deal with it by hanging up on you. 257-5396. Let's go to Michael. Michael, what's going on?
Hey, Michael.
Hey, am I on the podcast?
Well, we're doing something called being live on the radio.
But you will be on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook.
You can be, in your mom's basement and I guess you could call that a podcast. You could speak from cans from one person to the other like they did in the 1800s. But no, we're actually live on KDWN. We could podcast it just for you, Michael, because you're special.
Okay, what question you want me to answer?
I'm going to hang up on you now because we have a lot of other people on the line that actually do have real questions and are real callers. Let's go to Lewis. Lewis, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Yeah, look, man, you wanted to know exactly why we are where we are, and I can tell you right now, listen to your show the last hour. You've mentioned that it's your show at least 15 times.
And why did I mention that?
And there it is.
And why did I mention that? And why did I mention that? And why did I mention that? I mentioned that. I mentioned that, Lewis.
It's the liberal way.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The reason why I mentioned that, be quiet and listen for 20 seconds. The reason why I mentioned that is because he was interrupting me. He was asking me questions. When I have a guest on the show, they're not here to ask me questions. I'm asking them questions. It's called an interview. And Steve knows that. He's just messing around with me. He knows that, Lewis. So with all due respect, you are 100% wrong, and you sound like a right-wing wacko, and I will label you just the way you labeled me. What do you think about that, Lewis? 257-5396. Let's go to JD. JD, what's going on?
Hey, JD.
Hi, gentlemen. I don't know. I have a question, but I don't know who to address it to.
Steve,
William
that's
Buckley
Steve.
Or Gore Vidal.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the realms of being quiet now. You're talking to Steve and JD Sharp. Go ahead.
All right. So Bill Buckley and Gore Vidal can take a shot. I think we have reduced the language to such a sensitive nature when send her home and racist means nothing anymore. Pack up and leave the country. We have turned the country into a bunch of sensitive pussies.
Oh, stop it. Oh, you know what? I wasn't going to interject, but are you kidding me? You're okay with send her home? You're okay with that?
How is that racist? I mean,
JD,
words
are you
words, and we're not inferring anything other.
Hold on a second. I just want to get the JD. I've met you before. You're a loyal listener, and we appreciate that. But I got to say, I'm offended right now for you.
You're always offended.
Okay.
You are so thin-skinned. You would bleed to death if you got cut.
So, JD, I got an idea for you, okay? Go back to your country.
I don't think that he has hemophilia, though, JD. You're wrong there.
Steve, help me out here, man. Is this guy that's a Looney Tune that just called in?
Well, see, I'm going to have to take your own words. I can't make assumptions. However, I will say this, and I'm on the record. I don't like the chant, send her back. I just don't like it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. We got a lot of other people.
Anybody with common sense should know that.
Exactly.
I mean, my God, come on.
Yes.
But I don't think everybody's racist that's in the rally.
I never said that.
Okay.
And I don't feel that way. The people who are chanting that, in my opinion, are racist. Can we agree on that?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't say they are. I'll tell you this. I think some people get so excited they act like damn fools, and they'll say things that really, if you really sit them down, they really don't mean. They just get caught up in the moment. Send her back. It's crazy.
I think you can say that they're definitely impressionable and ignorant. I don't know about racist. I agree with Steve
People
on
who
that.
are racist are ignorant. I will say that. 257-5396. Let's go to Scott. Scott, what's going on?
Am I on?
Yes.
No, you're not, but go ahead anyway.
Okay. I heard a guy on the radio said that Donald Trump's tweets were not racist at all. Now, is that guy a racist, a jackass, a moron, and an idiot?
I have no idea what tweets you're referring to. I have absolutely no idea what person you're referring to. I'd need more information to make that opinion.
He's trying to see if you're going to lump it in with guilt with association. That he's trying to say that if you don't think that what Trump does is racist, is that person a racist?
What I go by,
he's trying to trap you, Brian.
Yes or no question.
Probably not. I would need more information, but probably not. I'm being honest with you. I think the racist is the person that makes the remark themselves.
And the answer,
now, with that being said,
what if I said that that his tweets were not?
It depends on the tweet. Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Am I an idiot?
No. Let me ask you a question, Scott. Are you okay with the rant?
I'm asking you a question.
Okay. Well, it's not your show; it's our show. So I'm going to.
The answer should be no, because you don't have enough information about Scott. You can't assume because he doesn't disagree with you that he's a racist.
Thank you. Let me ask you a question now. Are you okay with that rant? Send her back.
Send her back. I don't see anything racist.
Okay, well, Scott, guess what? I'm going to label you a racist. Have a nice day. 257-5396. Scott, you're a racist. Nancy, you're up next. What's going on?
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fantastic.
Nice to hear it. I do have a situation with, like the gentleman just before me. I don't believe this is a racist thing, and I don't think that Trump said racist. He said anyone that was against the country, that said bad things about the country, should go back and solve the problems where they came from first.
You said it a little bit more eloquently than our idiot-in-chief did, number one. And number two, since when is it when you, and by the way, not all four of those women hate America, okay?
They've just said bad things about America.
Well, your definition of saying bad things is maybe criticizing policy. That's not my definition. I am not an Omar fan, okay? I'll single her out of this. But those other three women, even though Ocasio-Cortez, I absolutely do not think she hates the country. They have criticized Donald Trump, the White House, and policies. That doesn't mean that they hate the country, and we shouldn't tell them to go back to their country. And by the way, last I checked, those three women were born in this place called the United States of America.
That's what I was going to get at. He didn't say go back to the country. He said go back to where you're from.
Okay.
And one of them, I believe, is from New York, and another one from Detroit. I don't know.
No, because he mentioned the country prior to that, and the only way he can, and the craziest part about that is, since three of those women were born in the United States, the only way you can associate them with those countries is by looking at their skin. So he brought race into the equation by making that statement.
You see, that's why I said JD has a higher IQ than both of us. Now Steve understands. 257-5396.
So it wasn't necessarily racist, but it was definitely racially charged by default.
At the least, yes, I agree with that. Spoken like a very good Republican. Steve, you could learn a lot from this guy.
Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. you Republicrats have destroyed the country.
That's an interesting word. Did you make that up?
Republicrats. I like that.
I need to trademark it.
Republicrat.com.
257-5396. I keep on getting off the number, but the phone lines are jammed anyway. Who cares? Craig, what's going on?
Hey, Craig.
Mr. Shapiro is a fake bleeping man. He's got a small bleeping D, and he doesn't know how to treat
All right, Craig. Thanks.
woman.
Craig is a bleeping moron. He is
Craig
bleeping.
He calls in every day.
Yeah.
He's probably calling from about 25 different aliases, but this is the longest call of his.
Craig needs to get a bleeping life. 257.
He makes 1 point and then he stops.
Thank you, Craig. Let's go to Mike or Paul. I'm sorry. Paul is the next caller. What's going on, Paul?
How you doing, Mr. Shapiro? Am I on?
Doing good, Paul. What's on your mind?
Yes, man. I just wanted to tell you, man, I'm a first-time caller, and I love your show. I think you're highly intelligible. And, JD, I love you too, man. I wish you would talk more about your sports betting. I hope you do that during football season. And real quickly, I just wanted to tell you, the only time I wanted to turn off your show was when you had your guest on. I do not like that guy. He's very disrespectful.
Well, next time, learn how to speak. It's not intelligible.
He kept talking over you, and he's just
and Steve is still here. So if you're going to call a radio show, don't embarrass yourself. It's not intelligible. There's no such thing.
Okay, but
go back to school.
Just kick him off the show. I wish you would kick him off the show, and then when he gets out, kick his ass.
Go back to. I'll kick your ass. I'll tell you that.
Hey.
I'll tell you that, keyboard warrior. I'll kick your ass.
That was a wild. Hey, and by the way,
that's our best caller.
Intelligible.
That was an outstanding.
That is
call.
A typical lefty.
Because he mentioned sports betting.
That is my favorite call.
Brian, I really love you. You're very intelligible.
Hey, Paul. By the way,
that's the Democrats for you. That's why Ocasio-Cortez is actually elected.
Paul, I love you, buddy.
Paul, when the show moves from 9 to noon. I'm as JD Sharp, I'm gonna release my play of the day. That's gonna be called Sharp's Play of the Day. It starts August 12th.
Yes.
So we'll be talking a lot more sports betting, and I'll be giving my picks.
And we'll have an extra hour of the show too. 257-5396. Go to Mike. Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, Mike.
AC, Omar, Talib, Presley are the face of the enemy. They represent the evil side of the planet. AC.
Wait, what?
For illegal immigration into America.
She's not. That's not true. You're misrepresenting what. That's not true. You just said something that's not true. Hang on. AOC does not want open borders. What the hell are you talking about?
Are you crazy?
No, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. No. You're crazy. AOC has never said she wants completely open borders. You're crazy.
True or false? This guy is on the Facebook Live thread right now, posting and also calling at the same time.
Is he?
Mike, you're
I'm fairly certain that he's part of this.
Find me a quote, Steve. Find me a quote. I know you disagree with a lot of the Democrats when it comes to illegal immigration and all that, and you know what? I do too.
Yeah.
But help me out on this one. Has AOC ever said that she wants completely open borders and any illegal can come in at any time? Because that's what that guy just said.
No, she's never said she wants open borders. However, the things that she says, the things that she calls for in that, that code that these lefties roll in basically gives the impression that they do. And I bet you if you had her on your show and you said, AOC, do you really want open borders? And she was intellectually honest, she'd probably say, yeah, let it.
I don't want open borders, but I do want soap, food, and beds for these children.
It seems like they're getting it.
Military barracks would make sense. Steve, I want to know, what are your thoughts on the Green New Deal?
Well, like everybody else's thoughts, it didn't go through.
It's not going to happen.
It's ridiculous.
But it's completely ridiculous.
Not going to happen.
It's completely ridiculous.
And it's Ocasio-Cortez. What she is doing is she's taking a page out of Trump's book. She's trying to operate the same way he does.
It's not going to happen.
By making these over-the-top statements.
Yeah. Well, no, everybody knows
and she's done a good job for herself. I think she's got a legitimate chance to win in 2024.
I don't.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. I like my car, and I don't mind getting 9 miles a gallon. Bring me the oil and gas, baby.
Let's go to Andrew. Andrew, what's going on? You're on with Steve Sanchez. What's up?
What's up, Andrew?
Yeah, guys, what I don't like about Omar is she minimized 911 and said somebody did something and then laughed about it.
Yeah, it was inappropriate, to say the least, and I don't think she should be in office. Very clear. I've been very clear on that, and I agree with you.
Yeah, we've got to get Muslims out of here.
Well, it looks like we got another KKK Klan member that decided to call into the show. Steve, these are people that support Donald Trump. Doesn't that embarrass you? That I'm not going to call you a Republican.
Oh, it doesn't embarrass me. It's just some people are idiots.
Okay, we agree. 257-539. Let's go to Bob. Bob, what's going on?
Yeah, second-time caller. What would you say to someone who just lost a loved one to an illegal that shouldn't have been here, like Kate Steinle?
Hey, great question.
The poor in northern Nevada.
Okay, I get your point. I get your point. The same thing I would say to an American that kills somebody. I would say it's a horrible, horrendous tragedy. I wish it never happened. I wish he or she never got into this country. But I would also make the case that of the 10.5 million people that were in this country illegally in 2018, 100,000 of them, and look, it's 100,000 too many, but 100,000 committed felonies, and an illegal has a lower chance of committing a felony than a U.S.-born citizen like you or me. That's exactly the way I would answer that question, and I would absolutely show compassion for them, and one death is too many. That's exactly the way I would answer the question. We got to get to some other calls.
That's where I'd be willing to say send them back. when a criminal actually murders someone and they're deported 5 times ago?
Yes.
5 times in a row and they come back? I'd say send them back and take the green, red, and white flag back with you.
I wouldn't say send them back. I'd say kill them. Give them the electric chair. Right. Okay. If you're gonna
finally someone on radio agrees with me about bringing the electric chair out.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. Well, I would even go a step further than the electric chair.
The illegal immigrant who killed Molly Tibbetts. Yeah. Who stalked her for 2 weeks in Iowa.
Exactly.
The farm girl.
But again, to make the case that the majority of these illegals are criminals is just not factually accurate. Let's go to Glenn. Glenn, what's going on?
Hey, Brian, how you been?
Oh, I'm just dandy, Glenn. How you been, my friend? You sound like a guy I want to go grab a beer with.
Yeah, that's right.
Be careful, you might be waiting outside.
What's that, Glenn? What'd you say?
I'm your veteran buddy.
Well, I appreciate your service, my friend. Thank you for that.
Thanks again.
Yes.
Have you heard Kamala Harris isn't even qualified to run for president?
Excuse me?
Because she wasn't born in the United States?
Not true.
No, she was born. Her parents weren't naturalized citizens.
Okay.
So she doesn't qualify.
Okay, not true. She does qualify.
Because she's Jamaican and Native American, is that correct?
Thank you for your service, Glenn, but again,
we went down that road with Marco Rubio, too.
Yes, we did.
Let's just be honest. Yeah. She's qualified to run. She's just not going to win.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, it sounds like Glenn was and thank you for your service, Glenn, but you probably supported Donald Trump for 5 years when he said Barack Obama wasn't born in this country either. How did that one work?
His grandmother said that, though, too, didn't
Well, it's not true, though. He showed his birth certificate. Let's go to Phil. Phil, what's going on?
How you doing, guys? Guys, you know what? I think that we're all missing the big picture here. I believe that Omar is an extension to Obama's fundamentally changing the United States. She's a bishop in this chess game.
How did Barack Obama fundamentally change the United States?
Well, she came here. She as a refugee or a. She came here as that. She set herself up in the political arena. And everything that she does is to put down the United States.
What did she do to fundamentally change the United States? I'm asking you now.
She hasn't done anything yet. She's trying.
So she hasn't done anything yet, and that's how she changes fundamentally the United States. I'm going to ask you 4th time now. What has Barack Obama and what has Omar done to fundamentally change the United States? This is the 4th time now I'm asking you.
4th time?
Yes.
I thought it was the 1st time. Excuse me. I didn't hear you to the other 3.
Okay.
Well, let's put it this way. How old are you?
I'm asking you to answer the question. Don't answer.
I'm going to answer the question.
Don't answer it by asking me a question. I'm 12 years old. Go ahead.
You're 12 years old?
Yeah, I'm 12. Go ahead.
What the United States was
so Epstein would like me very much. Your boy Epstein would.
No, he's highly advanced for a 12-year-old.
Okay, Phil, go ahead. Go ahead. With all due respect.
Okay.
Go
Well,
ahead.
you remember what the United States was before the Obama administration took over and stated that they wanted to fundamentally change the United States. They have changed the outlook and the moral structure of
Okay, so stop it with these big words and be specific. How has
I think he's talking about Bilderberg meetings, the
I don't
Illuminati.
know what he's talking about. Phil, be specific. How is Omar? You just said that she's done nothing. How does that I mean, there's a lot of people there's a lot of people in America that sit on their ass and do nothing. So she's actually keeping course with a lot of Americans, isn't she?
It's very par.
It's the opposite, right?
She's trying to change the narrative. She's trying to take away the voice
what did Obama do?
Of the citizens of the United States and place her narrative.
No, I'll tell you. You know, I don't agree with this at all. But I'll tell you what she hasn't done is she hasn't denounced Antifa or Al Qaeda, and along with the anti-Semitic stuff, that's enough for me to.
We keep talking about Omar,
not to be anywhere near.
I don't think she should be in Congress. I've been very clear on that. Bradley, you're next. Go ahead. Bradley, go ahead. Did we lose Bradley? 257-5396. I believe our next caller is David, if I'm not mistaken. David, go ahead. You're on with Steve Sanchez.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, man.
Okay, so, I think that Trump missed an incredible opportunity is the way I look at it, and that is this. He is winning the debate politically. He's winning the debate on policy. And all he had to do was step back in that moment and say, yes, send her back to Detroit where she belongs.
That would have been okay. Listen, David, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Yeah. David, I would not have had a problem.
I know you wouldn't. Brian, I know you guys are having this thing back and forth. I know you. I've called the show and I listen, and I know you're not. I know. But the other thing is, too, that with this whole thing is that you got to understand, Donald Trump does not care about Ilhan Omar. This was designed to push Nancy Pelosi to the left. Because they already had a rift with the squawk. I call them the squawk. I think they call themselves the squad, but I call them the squawk.
I like that, actually.
So you guys can use that. That's
all right. Thank you.
Credit. Okay, so the squawk. So she already had a rift with the squawk, and what Donald Trump did was force Pelosi to go defend them, to go be on their side, to push him. So I think this whole thing was designed to push Nancy Pelosi. And if you notice, Joe Biden has said nothing.
David, you are absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you something, my friend. You might be onto something there. I shouldn't say I fail. I don't like giving Donald Trump too much credit. Here's what I think. I think he's impulsive. I think he goes on Twitter and he says a lot of stupid things and he doesn't think before he says it. That's what I think.
But the reality is he plays chess, not checkers. And he doesn't go too far in the extreme either way.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Every single thing he does is well planned. And you could argue that this was actually kind of...
And everybody talks about it every day for days on end.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he's an idiot.
Everything he says turns to media gold. He's a brilliant marketer. And you could argue that this was kind of a truce between Trump and Pelosi, considering that this happened a week after Pelosi and AOC kind of got into it.
I'm going to take one more call. I cannot take any more calls because we're running late here. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're last, so make it good. What's going on?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm calling. So I just want to, that word racist is overused so much.
I agree.
Liberals, no matter what you say to them, you're racist.
Okay, so can I respond to that, Mike? And let me ask you.
I'm not done. 1 second. You've said that word racist on this show just today probably 100 times.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the same issue. Same issue.
I know, but you think just because when you call a Republican a racist, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, you're right. I should just be a Democrat."
What Republican have I called a racist today?
Everyone.
No, really, Steve. What Republican have I called one Republican a racist today?
In all honesty, you haven't called any Republican a racist. Just people that sway to Trump. You call it racist.
Not people that sway to Trump. No, I'm talking about specifically. No. Hold on, Mike. I'm talking because you said something that's incorrect. I'm talking specifically, and Steve knows this. JD knows this. I'm talking about the people in North Carolina that were chanting "Send her back." Yes, those people are racist. Mike, do you not agree with that?
Sure, yes. I'll say it just to say yes so you don't hang up on me. But
I want to know your opinion. Don't say something just to appease me.
No, then you're going to say you're a racist.
No, I'm not going to call you a racist. I'll disagree with you.
I'm sorry. What if he said that to a white person? Go back to your country.
He would never say that to a white person, and I'm so glad you brought that up. Hold on, Mike. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm sorry you're a racist. I got to hang up on you.
He could say that to his great-grandfather.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, Anthony Scaramucci, who's, by the way, planning on being in studio in 3 weeks. We don't have that confirmed yet, but
Scooch?
He wrote, this is Scaramucci. He said, would Donald Trump ever tell a white immigrant, whether first, second, third, or fourth generation, to go back to your country? No. That's why the comments were racist and unacceptable. America is a nation of immigrants founded on the deals of free thought and free speech. Steve, in his fashion, said, "Huh? Looking for attention?" ? I agree with Scaramucci.
He had his 5 minutes of fame, and he was gone. I think he had the shortest political career of anybody in history.
But that's academic. Let's focus on what he said.
It makes no sense.
I agree with him. You think he would tell a white person to go back to their country? He's right.
I think he would. I think if there was 4 people out there basically throwing America under the bus, denigrating, I think he would. But here's the reality. Most people aren't throwing their country under the bus. The only ones are the leftist loonies. It's just true. Burning flags, dropping acid on people,
honestly,
breaking
right now, Brian,
bottles over people's heads.
I would respond, but it's so hot in here, I'm losing
it is really
my
hot
ability
here.
to think straight.
It is really hot in here. Well, I got to tell you this. This is
JD, it's only 104 in here.
It's ridiculously hot. Let me put it this way. If Donald Trump, you see, now you've shamed Rapinoe for her looks, so now I'm going to make a joke about Donald Trump. Okay. If Donald Trump was sitting here, we would see his man boobs. It would be a wet T-shirt contest.
Oh, I don't care if he's got the funny comb over and all that.
He's also 73 years old.
I could care less. I'll tell you the truth. I'll be honest with you.
How could Melania Trump have sex with that man? Be honest. He's disgusting.
Now you do know he's very wealthy, right?
So you're telling me Melania didn't marry him for his looks? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'll let you make the decision on that one.
9 zeros, Brian. 9 zeros, 10 digits.
I'm being intellectually honest, man.
Like.
Come on.
At least his net worth.
Well, listen, Steve, I'm glad you're going to be a part of KDWN during the week. You're taking up this time. As you can see, we have a lot of listeners, a lot of callers, and we appreciate them all. Certainly, we also hope they listen to us 9 a.m. to noon. But
I think they will.
I appreciate that. We certainly have to do this again. This was a lot of fun. It was a spirited debate. Yeah. Something tells me that Donald Trump will have us something to talk about. Trump will have something for us to talk about on a weekly basis. I find that
he will for the next 5 years because he'll get reelected. I said it now. He's going to get reelected. Well, and you know what, Brian?
I think you're picking chalk.
And I want a steak at Gallagher's from you when he does.
No, because I agree with you. Why would I bet somebody when I'm on?
It's probably going to be the biggest landslide.
Have I ever said
30 or 40 years?
Have I said Donald Trump isn't going to win in 2020?
No, you have not.
And even Willie Brown, the one that Kamala, even though the one that Kamala Harris was doing the Watusi Shuffle with, Willie Brown even said she can't win against Donald Trump. She can't win. He's even saying it.
I'll make a bet with you. I believe within 4 years after Trump leaves office, Melania Trump will divorce him. That I will bet you a stake.
I could.
She's going to wait for him to die.
I mean, it could happen.
She's not going to divorce.
It could happen. Horrible. It might not. Look, Hillary didn't.
JD, why do you have to attack Donald Trump all the time?
Hillary didn't divorce Bill after he did what he did with the blue dress and the pizza and the cigar in the Oval Office and all the 26 trips to Lolita Island.
Also left his presidency with a surplus. But hey, we'll end it there.
Oh, you mean higher taxes?
Steve, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
I look forward to plenty of more spirited debates.
You guys are great guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate you.
All right, check him out. Steve Sanchez show. He's going to be doing 6 to 8 p.m. starting August 12th when we move 9 a.m. to noon. Also his nationally syndicated show on Sunday nights. When we come back, Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports. And we'll be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.